shot like a diamond. I shot like a diamond. Shoot me.
This is Ashen Arrows, and in this video I will be letting you know whether you should be picking it up or letting it die on the battlegrounds.
Subscribe and let's see if you need to be avoiding this one. Ashen Arrows has actually got quite a decent story, told in quite a decent way. In fact, bringing the Norse god Odin down to actually tell the story was actually quite decent.
Galvan! He must be here somewhere. There you are! Hail, old friend! Long time no see!
And trust me, if you're going to have a story, I'd rather it be told voiced and in a different way like this than just mounds of text thrown at you for you to read and probably not digest. But beyond the story, Ashen Arrows has so much depth you wouldn't believe. I would indeed say normally Ashen Arrows is basically, but there's nothing basic about what is here. In fact, there's quite a bit here. In fact, it's not just a tower defense game that uses an archer as your main character. There's levels where you wander around and have to find things and solve puzzles as well.
So this is one of the clues for the puzzles. And look, actually rather beautiful when you've solved it. And there is the spoils of your triumph. Or at least your problem solving. Woo!
There's also discovering other characters and even doing side quests for them before you can carry on with the main quest. The tower defense side is quite different with different varieties of enemies. You can even upgrade your abilities as you go along and even get granted god-like abilities at times, along with the ability to build like defenses for these structures that you're trying to defend.
And yeah, I love these. The fact that you got side quests and all, and it's not just tower defense, which is brilliant, but these sort of things split up the gameplay, which is awesome. But basically the game works just by well, you bring up your bow and arrow. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, arrows straight into this side, and then it's just aim and shoot. The aiming as a whole is decent, although it sometimes is a bit difficult to where your shot is going, but not very often. Quite often it's like pretty there you go, pretty intuitive. Although I will say that sometimes, as you've just seen, I have no idea why it's not on this one,
Stay there!
because I've got the multi-shot, but sometimes you'll hit a character and it won't register, or you won't hit a character and it will register. I do like the fact that you can shoot between their legs though. Not very useful, but it's still quite a cool effect.
Some of the side quests are very similar to this, but also you get ones where you can move around whilst you're shooting, and there's not so much emphasis on defending anywhere. I felt the variety was actually quite decent and kind of broke up the gameplay in a positive way rather than a negative, boring way. I mean, if you're going to have a wave shooter, at least do something here and there with it, which they have done. And I have to admit, some of these upgrades can actually be quite unique. These power-ups or upgrades can be from barricades, exploding arrows, to even god powers that can help you defeat enemies. Or, if you pick the Loki power, can also hinder you at times as well. I felt there was a decent amount of enemies, or different types of enemies, and also different areas that you can go into. Some of the structures were completely different from others, which was a good thing. It wasn't just a reskin of that level or that level. Some were big, some were small, and the creatures differed. They certainly knew how to keep you on your toes, with enemies that could fly like dragons and giant bats, and the dragons firing fire at you, to others on the ground firing arrows, to bears, to wolves, to like archermen, and enemies with multiple shields, all of which trying to take down your structures with only you to defend, and maybe some little help here and there from the gods. If I had some negatives about this game, it sometimes lags a little, although that I found quite difficult to show on camera, and I also felt that at times the arrows didn't connect where they should have, or connected where they probably shouldn't have.
So basically, as you're going through, you get upgrades and you can spend them. There are loads of different upgrades, but you get like points as you're going along by opening these crates. to call on a next wave, you shoot, as you would expect from a
Raise
wave.
your bow, hunter.
There's some of that lag. From a wave shooter type tower defense game like this. And then it's all about just shooting them. As you can see, some of the characters have different like items on them that, you know, like a helmet and all that will stop them from getting destroyed or taken down straight away, or a shield that will block. And then there are bats, dragons. Oh, that really must have hurt. Then you can lay down things like this. If an enemy goes there, it hurts them. You're basically stopping them from
No more adventuring for that
carrying
one.
on.
Good shot, Legolas.
And then at the end of the round, it'll either start straight
Here
away,
they come.
or
Buckle up.
there you go. So you have to be quick doing this, or you get, you know, a little bit of time and then you shoot the bell yourself. So then I can go, okay, adds a tool to the base, that's good, and then it'll upgrade it or whatever, and then you just carry on until they're all defeated. I think it's one of the better, no, thank you. I think it's one of the better type of tower defenses. I quite like the way it's done, to be fair. It's different. Oh, there's my battery, so I better wrap this up really quickly.
Although graphically I've kind of found it a little bit basic, I also enjoyed its vibrant look, and I also think that its basic look kind of gave it a unique feel to the game. Sound wise, I was actually decently impressed. There was lots of atmospheric feeling sound, and also it was voiced. Hallelujah, I love a good voice story, and also a good voice narrator, and also, if you watched at the beginning, a voiced chest.
I must admit, the dwarves are adequate at architecture. This
And
tomb
voice.
is something to behold. At least he used to lie locked together with his cursed
Hello, Loki.
ring.
I like this
How he
effect.
returned as a dragon is beyond our knowledge. Yet,
So thanks for getting this far into the video. Hit that subscribe button, it really does help the channel. And let's move on to the score. I actually quite enjoyed this game. It was good fun. I'm still playing it, and there's multiplayer within it, which I couldn't get to work, but I'm guessing when it gets released, there'll be a lot more people playing it. I admittedly went into this just thinking it was a tower defense archering game, and I was so much wrong. There is so many different aspects to this game that I probably have missed a few here. There's even a dossary with all the different characters, all the different unlocks that you've done. There is just so many things, right down to even the HUD is different to most games, and you can wander around doing things there as well. I don't think Ashen Arrows is the most perfect game you'll find. I don't. But I think it's definitely worth picking up if you're into anything like tower defense and want something a bit different and a little bit more. And for that reason, and the surprises I had along the way, I'm going to give Ashen Arrows a 7 out of 10. Do subscribe, leave a comment down below, let us know what you're thinking, and click the video that's just come up. Bye bye.